Your mind is the most powerful tool you will ever own. It's the driver of your destiny, the architect of your reality. Everything you see, everything you experience, everything you believe, it all starts in your mind. And if you don't train it, if you don't condition it to work for you instead of against you, life will feel like an endless fight. Because the truth is, whatever you focus on grows. If you focus on problems, you'll drown in them. If you focus on pain, you'll feel nothing but suffering. If you look for negativity, you will find it everywhere, in people, in situations, in yourself. But listen to me, that's not the way to live. That's not the way to win. You must rewire your mind, retrain your thinking, because the way you see the world will define the way you experience it. You ever notice how two people can go through the same exact situation, but one crumbles while the other rises? Same setback, same storm, same pain, but one is broken by it and the other is built by it. Why? Because it's not about what happens, it's about how you see it. One sees defeat, the other sees development. One sees an ending, the other sees a beginning. And the only difference? Mindset. Life will test you, no doubt about that. It will throw curveballs, it will knock you down, it will push you to your limits. And if your mind is weak, if your thoughts are poisoned by fear, doubt, and negativity, you will break. But if your mind is trained, if you've conditioned yourself to see the good, to find the lesson, to push forward no matter what, there is nothing that can hold you back. Nothing. Some people wake up and the first thing they do is look for what's wrong. They complain. They dwell on yesterday. They focus on everything that isn't perfect. And then they wonder why they feel stuck, why they feel miserable, why life isn't moving forward. Let me tell you something. You cannot have a positive life with a negative mind. You cannot see opportunities if all you do is focus on obstacles. You cannot build success if all you see is failure. Every day you have a choice to see the possibility, the opportunity, the blessing in every situation. And yes, that's a skill, that's discipline, that's training. Because your mind doesn't just wake up seeing the good, you have to teach it. You have to correct it when it drifts into negativity. You have to remind yourself every single day that you are in control of your focus. You are in control of your attitude. You are in control of your perspective. So when life gets hard, and it will, what will you choose to see? Will you see the weight, or will you see the workout that's making you stronger? Will you see the rejection, or will you see the redirection towards something better? Will you see the challenge, or will you see the chance to prove to yourself what you're really made of? Because let me tell you something right now. Your mind will either be your greatest weapon or your biggest weakness. It will either build you up or tear you down. And that choice, that responsibility, it's yours. Train it, control it, master it. Because when you do, life will never be the same. Let me tell you something that's going to change the way you look at everything. Setbacks are not failures. They're setups, they're opportunities. And if you don't see them that way, you're missing the whole point of this life. Every single thing that comes at you, the good, the bad, the ugly, has a reason. And that reason is to build you, to strengthen you, to shape you into the person you're meant to become. But you've got to be able to look past the surface. You've got to train yourself to see the bigger picture. When life throws a curveball at you, it's not a sign to quit. It's not a sign to give up or to feel sorry for yourself. No, no, no. It's a sign that you're ready for something greater. It's a sign that you're being prepared for the next level. The pain you feel right now, the struggle you're in, that's the weight you need to lift to get stronger. That's the fire you need to endure to become unbreakable. You see, when you go through tough times, when the world seems to be falling apart around you, that's not the moment to retreat. That's the moment to rise. That's the moment to understand that life is not against you, it's for you. It's aligning you with your purpose. It's challenging you because it knows you've got the strength to handle it, but you've got to see it for what it is. You've got to know that nothing is wasted. Every challenge, every trial, every failure is simply a test. And if you pass it, if you stand tall in the middle of the storm, You'll come out on the other side, not just unscathed, but unstoppable. Think about it. Some of the most successful people you know, the people you admire, the people you look up to, they didn't get there by avoiding obstacles. They didn't get there by taking the easy road. No. They got there because they faced the struggles head on. They got there because they understood that without the struggle, there's no growth. Without the challenge, there's no change. Without the pain, there's no progress. When you're in the middle of a setback, you can either focus on the hurt, the disappointment, the feeling of being stuck, or you can choose to focus on what it's teaching you. You can choose to focus on the strength you're building, the lessons you're learning, the resilience you're developing. And when you start seeing setbacks this way, something powerful happens. You stop fearing them. You stop wishing they would go away. Instead, you start welcoming them. You start saying, bring it on. Because I know that on the other side of this, I'm going to be better, I'm going to be stronger, I'm going to be more prepared for what's coming. But this takes practice, this takes mindset. You have to train yourself to look at life through a different lens. You have to look at everything that happens as an opportunity, as part of the plan. No matter how difficult it may seem in the moment, no matter how hard the road may appear, there is a reason. And when you start seeing that reason, when you start understanding that this setback is actually a setup for something greater, you stop being afraid of failure. You stop being afraid of obstacles. You start charging forward with the confidence that every step you take, no matter how tough, is a step toward your destiny. So when life tries to knock you down, remember this. It's not trying to break you, it's trying to build you. It's trying to make you strong enough, wise enough, and resilient enough to handle what's coming next. And if you can embrace that, if you can accept that, if you can see the purpose in the pain, you'll not only survive the struggle, you'll thrive in it. You'll rise above it. And you'll look back one day and realize that those setbacks were the best thing that ever happened to you because they got you ready for greatness. Your focus is your power. Your mind is like a spotlight, and whatever you shine it on grows. If you shine it on fear, fear will take over. If you shine it on doubt, doubt will paralyze you. If you shine it on excuses, you will drown in them. But if you learn to control it, if you learn to direct it toward strength, toward solutions, toward possibilities, life is not about what happens to you. It's about how you choose to see it. Two people can go through the same storm. One comes out broken, the other comes out stronger. Same storm, different results. Why? Because one focused on the problem, the pain, the unfairness of it all. The other focused on the lesson, the opportunity, the growth that was hidden inside that struggle. That's the difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck. And listen, this isn't about pretending that life is always perfect. This isn't about ignoring the hardships, the pain, the struggle. No, this is about training yourself to shift your focus from what you can't control to what you can. It's about understanding that your attention is energy, and where you put it determines the direction of your life. If you constantly focus on what's missing, you will always feel empty. If you constantly focus on obstacles, you will always feel stuck. But if you choose to focus on what's possible, if you choose to focus on solutions, you will always find a way forward. Some people wake up every day already looking for problems, already expecting the worst, already finding reasons to complain. And guess what? They always find what they're looking for. Because the mind is powerful. It will always prove you right. If you tell yourself that life is unfair, you will see proof of it everywhere. If you tell yourself that you never catch a break, you will keep experiencing setbacks. But if you train yourself to see possibilities, if you train yourself to look for the good, you will start noticing opportunities that you never saw before. You will start creating results that once felt impossible. Think about this. When you're driving a car, where do you look? You don't stare at the obstacles on the road or you'll crash. You keep your eyes on where you want to go. Your mind works the same way. If you focus on obstacles, you'll keep running into them. If you focus on failures, you'll keep repeating them. But if you keep your eyes locked on where you want to go, if you keep your focus on progress, on learning, on moving forward, you will get there. It may not be easy, it may not be quick, but you will get there. And don't think this happens overnight. No, it takes practice. It takes discipline. You have to catch yourself when your mind starts drifting toward negativity. You have to stop yourself when you find yourself focusing on excuses, on limitations, on doubts. You have to take control, because if you don't control your focus, the world will do it for you. And the world will fill your mind with fear, with distractions, with everything designed to keep you from reaching your full potential. So make a decision. Decide that from this moment forward, you will take control of your focus. Decide that you will no longer waste time on what you can't change. Decide that you will no longer give power to negativity, to doubt, to fear. Instead, you will focus on what's possible. You will focus on your growth, your goals, your purpose. And once you make that shift, once you truly commit to training your mind to focus on what moves you forward, there will be no limits to what you can achieve. The way you see the world is the way you experience it. Your perspective is your power, and if you don't learn how to control it, life will feel like a battle you can't win. But listen to me. Your circumstances are not the problem. Your struggles are not the issue. It's how you see them. It's how you interpret them. Because two people can go through the exact same situation, and one will rise while the other falls. Not because of luck, not because of talent, but because of how they choose to see the moment. Some people walk through life with a lens of negativity, expecting the worst, assuming people are against them, believing that nothing good ever happens for them. And guess what? They always find proof of it. They always see what they expect to see. They say the world is cruel, so they only notice cruelty. They say, I never get opportunities, so they overlook the chances right in front of them. They live in a prison of their own perspective, blind to the possibilities all around them. But then there are the people who choose to see differently. They don't ignore reality. They don't pretend that life is perfect, but they look at every situation, every challenge, every obstacle and say, there is something here for me. They train their minds to find the lesson, to see the opportunity, to focus on the solution instead of the problem. And because of that, they move forward while everyone else stands still. Think about this. When rain falls, some people complain about the storm, while others see it as a chance for growth. The same water that ruins someone's day is the water that helps a seed grow into a mighty tree. It's not the rain that makes the difference. It's how you see it. It's what you do with it. Life will not always go your way. You will face rejection, failure, disappointment. People will let you down. Plans will fall apart. Dreams will take longer than you thought. And in those moments, you have a choice. You can let those experiences break you, or you can let them build you. You can see them as proof that life is unfair, or you can see them as training, as preparation, as the fire that will make you stronger. Every setback carries a lesson. Every failure contains wisdom. Every struggle builds something inside of you that success never could, but you will never see that if you are too focused on the pain, on the frustration, on the unfairness of it all. You have to shift your perspective. You have to start asking, what is this teaching me? Instead of, why is this happening to me? You have to start seeing every challenge as an opportunity to grow, to learn, to become better. Because when you do that, life stops feeling like something that's happening to you and starts feeling like something that's happening for you. And don't think this is easy. No, it takes practice. It takes commitment. You have to train your mind every single day to see differently, to react differently, to refuse to give in to negativity. But if you do it, if you make that decision, if you choose to see the good, to focus on the lesson, to believe that every situation carries something valuable, you will experience life in a way that most people never will, because perspective is power. And once you learn to control it, you control everything. The people you surround yourself with will shape your future. They will either push you forward or hold you back. They will either lift you higher or drag you down. And if you don't take control of who is in your circle, you will wake up one day wondering why you're stuck, why you feel drained, why your dreams feel impossible. When the truth is, it was never about your abilities. It was about your environment. You cannot grow in toxic soil. You cannot build a powerful mindset while surrounding yourself with weak ones. You cannot reach for greatness while standing next to people who settle for average. You have to choose. You have to decide once and for all that your future is more important than fitting in, that your goals matter more than temporary friendships, that your dreams deserve to be protected, nurtured, and surrounded by people who believe in them just as much as you do. Look around. Who are you spending your time with? Who are you listening to? Who are you letting speak into your life? Because their words, their energy, their mindset, whether you realize it or not, are influencing you every single day. If you're always around negativity, don't be surprised when your mind starts filling with doubt. If you're always around people who make excuses, don't be shocked when you start making them too. If you're surrounded by people who don't push themselves, who don't believe in growth, who don't strive for more, guess what? You will start lowering your own standards. Not because you're weak, but because that's how human nature works. But when you surround yourself with people who are hungry, people who are disciplined, people who push past their fears, who refuse to settle, you start leveling up, you start thinking bigger, you start pushing yourself in ways you never thought possible. You start seeing new opportunities, new ideas, new possibilities, just because the people around you expect more from themselves and from you. Now, I know what some of you are thinking, but what if my friends, my family, the people around me don't believe in me? What if they are the ones holding me back? Then you have to make a choice. Because your dreams, your future, your purpose, they are too important to be sacrificed for the comfort of staying around the wrong people. That doesn't mean you stop loving them. That doesn't mean you turn your back on them, but it does mean you set boundaries. It does mean you start limiting how much of their energy you allow into your mind, into your spirit, into your vision. Because if you let them, they will plant seeds of doubt. They will tell you to be realistic. They will convince you that you're dreaming too big. And before you know it, you'll start believing them. You'll start shrinking. You'll start settling. And one day you'll look back and realize that you let small-minded people talk you out of a big life. You cannot afford that. You cannot afford to let your future be shaped by people who have already given up on theirs. You cannot let your potential be buried under the weight of someone else's fears. You have to surround yourself with people who challenge you, who inspire you, who hold you accountable, people who remind you who you are when you forget, people who push you to do better, to think bigger, to reach higher, because that is what will separate you from the rest. And yes, it will be uncomfortable. Yes, it might mean walking away from some friendships. Yes, it might mean feeling lonely for a while. But I promise you this, when you start surrounding yourself with people who are going where you want to go, who think the way you want to think, who live the way you want to live, you will feel the difference. You will see the change. You will become the person you were meant to be, because your circle is your foundation. And if you build it right, nothing will be able to shake you.